here, this is a 6-foot section. Snap those on there, and then they just snap together.
Oh, man.
Thank you.
Today we're here with Braden from TimberTech inside Advantage Studios to do a TimberTech Impression Rail Express installation. All right, so here we are in the design stages of our deck. We want to install a TimberTech railing. What information do you need from the customers?
Yeah, that's a great question, Greg. So all we're going to need from the homeowners, we're going to need it whether you're working with an engineer or architect, we can get their CAT drawing. Otherwise, if you don't have that, all we need is what we consider a napkin drawing. So reason being for the napkin drawing is we just want to know the dimensions of the rail system, so we know exactly where to put the posts, and also whether or not we're tying into columns or anything like that.
Perfect. So just like you're going to buy furniture, you take measurements of your room, we're asking the homeowners to do exactly the same thing. Take the tape measure, go out there, just measure the outline of the deck and submit that in, correct?
That is correct.
All right, that's easy enough. What else?
Yeah, so once we have the dimensions of the deck, then we kind of move forward into our order form.
Okay.
So in our order form, we need to find 4 things about this particular rail. So we're going to be needing the infill kit. So whether you're going with horizontal cable, traditional balusters, things like that. We'll go into the height. Then we're going to need to know the color of the rail system. And then also we're going to need to know the top rail as well.
Okay, excellent. All right, that seems like it's doable. Easy enough. All right, so we got our deck design. We have our order form. It looks like we got white IRX. I'm only seeing 3 boxes. Is there anything missing?
Nope, this is it. Simple, simple to order, simple to install.
I love it. So what do we got here? Let's walk through these.
Yeah, so this right here, this is our post kit. As you can see here, so what that all entails, obviously you're going to get your post that comes with it, a structural post. You're going to get your cap with it as well, and then you also get your skirt system with it as well. So it's 3 parts in 1 SKU.
All right. So what sizes do the posts come in?
So the posts, they come in a 38-inch, which is built for a 36-inch system. We also have a 44-inch post for a 42-inch system, and then we also have a 48-inch post as well for a little bit more of a customized design.
Great. And this is really, it's a structural post, right?
That is correct, yes, sir.
So you do not need a PT post to actually fasten it down to the deck?
That is correct, yep.
Yeah. And what about, tell me about the finish.
Yeah, so it's all a powder coated matte finish. So the AMA 2604, so the legally highest powder coated you can illegally apply in the United States. So perfect for saltwater applications, anything around the coast.
That's great. What else you got?
Yeah, so right here, this is one of our 3 options for a top rail. This is called our modern top rail here. So like I said, we got 3 options. We got a modern top rail, which you can kind of see here, more of a sleek looking design. And then we also have a classic top rail, which is more of a breadloaf look. And then also this system is compatible with a drink rail as well.
Okay, so the posts are available in 3642. What about the caps?
Yep, so the top rails as well, 6-foot, 8-foot sections. We also have offered in an 18-foot section as well. So if you want to do a continuous top rail look, that is absolutely an option for you too.
Yeah, excited to see how this snaps on. Now, to me, this is the showstopper. So typically you think rails, you think balusters, insert, etc. I'm just seeing one big panel. Tell me about your IRX panel.
Yeah. So our panels, they are obviously, as you can see here, pre-assembled. So ease of install. You save a lot of time on the job sites when it comes already pre-assembled there for you too. So you set your post, and you basically put up that panel. But yeah, come in 6-foot, 8-foot sections as well, both the level and stair.
All right, I'm pumped. You guys talk about speed. That's some serious time saving and installation right there. All right, let's do it. All right, we've got all our products unboxed. We've got the first post already fastened. What are the next steps?
Yeah, next step is going to be obviously find your distance between each post. With that being said, we say a 6-foot and 8-foot section panels as well. However, the panels themselves are not a true 6 and 8 foot. So the 6-foot section is going to be 69.43 inches wide, and then the 8-foot is going to be a 91.31 inches wide. So what that means is if you set your post at a true 6 and 8-foot section in between, we're going to have a gap, and you're going to have a contractor that's not so happy at you, Greg.
All right, so let's see the measuring tape. Let's measure this out, just show them. Right, so
as you can see here, this is a 6-foot section. And as you can see here, it's a little bit less than true 6 foot, as you can see right here. So
All right. How does that translate into the post?
Yep, so once you get your post, what I would definitely recommend is if you're measuring with a tape measure on it, I want you to measure from the top of the collar, not with the collar, because it's about a 1/4 of an inch of extrusion, both of those posts. So what that means is if you measure off that, you're going to have about a 1/2 an inch difference for where your actual panel is going to be. It's going to have a lot of play, and in some circumstances you may not have a panel that's going to sit flush with your brackets.
All right, any other ways to get the right measurement between posts?
Yeah, so the little pro tip here for y'all is one way, rather than having to do measurements with your tape, it's easy to mess up sometimes. So what we do is we have our bottom snap here. That's going to snap on the bottom of our level section here. And what we do is I would recommend putting it from post to post, center to post. That gives you your exact measurement on it there too. So put on that square there, measure up your where your post is going to be set, fasten it in, and then we can get right into the section of actually installing the pre-assembled section.
All right, pro tips, you hear here first. All right, so the next step is to fasten the post to the deck. Talk to us about the through bolts.
Yeah, so the bolts themselves for the post, they do not come with the kit. So the kit comes with the skirt, comes with the cap. Reason being is every job's a little bit unique, every job's a little bit different. So sometimes they're going to be fastening into the substructure or blocking below your deck.
All right, so we got both posts in, and now we're going to attach the hardware so we can attach the panel to the post. Yep. What do you got?
Yeah, so we've got this very easy thing called a Jig Kit here. So we definitely recommend ordering this anytime you order any of the Impression Rail Express with the balusters on there. It's going to make your life way easy here. So it's actually a Jig Kit to help you set the bracket at the exact same height, keep it centered on the post. So this Jig Kit's just a couple extra dollars, also comes with the touch-up paint. So if you scratch anything, you got that as well. But as you can see here, it's a very foolproof system. Tells you the arrow this side down. It works for both a 3-inch post as well as a 2-inch post. You can just flip it around there. And what we're going to do is we're going to attach this to the post. It's a compression fit here. So we put that on the post, and then you're going to want to slide it all the way down to the collar, and then boom, you have exactly where you need to set that bracket right into that jig.
Wow, easy does it. So that sets the exact height and centers on the post as well, right?
That is correct, yes sir.
All right, awesome.
Perfect. So next step, once obviously you have your jig on there, we've got 4 brackets. So again, going back to the simple simple install, it's about as easy as they can get, right? All the stainless steel brackets here comes with 4 brackets, 16 screws. So once we get our post set, here's what we're going to do is we're going to put our bracket right inside of our Jig Kit, and the beauty of it, it actually holds the jig or holds the bracket in as well. So you're not fumbling around trying to make sure everything works together. Also comes with self-tapping screws as well. So 16 self-tapping screws, so you don't have to do any pre-drilling or anything like that. Again, it saves you time on all that stuff, and then we can just kind of get right into actually putting this bracket on here. So as you can see, there's got two areas for the screws to go in. So we're going to throw one on each. And then once you have those set, it's as easy as pulling off this Jig Kit. Wow. And then you got your bracket set.
All right, so the bottom brackets are on. Is this as simple as sliding this panel right on top of the bottom brackets?
It is, Greg. Yes, it is. All we got to do is we're just going to lift this section up here with a support channel on the bottom. It's going to go right over top of these brackets that we just installed on the bottom there. And it's going to sit on there too.
That is the fastest I've ever seen a rail system go on. What's next?
Yeah, so once we have that setting on our bottom brackets, what we're going to do is we're going to use this exact same Jig Kit in order to help center up that post. So the brackets for the top are actually the exact same brackets as that we use there on the bottom. So you don't have to worry about mixing up whether I got a top or a bottom bracket. They're the exact same. So what we're going to do is use this Jig Kit like I had said. We're going to put that on the post, and this is going to help center up this section here. Going to help keep that post in center, and then what we're going to do with this bracket, we're just going to put that right in the top channel there, get it in, and then we're just going to put it up flush right next to that post, and then do the exact same thing that we did on the bottom, fasten those in.
All right, so we have the top and bottom brackets in. It's a pretty good stopping point to go over what are the most common mistakes when installing this system? Yeah,
so I really get 3 main questions when installing this system. It usually comes down to 2 of them, with being the top rail, the other one usually being the stair section. So, is if you want to take a look up here, there's these pre-tabs in here. They're already pressed in our manufacturing facility. So the biggest one is on stairs. It's rattly balusters. When you're going back and forth and racking it to find the pitch on that stair. So they come 30 37 degrees, you can add 3, or you can subtract 3 degrees to it to get your right degree on that stair. But when you kind of rack it back and forth multiple times, the balusters can tend to rattle as these tabs loosen up. So all you got to do is take off that top rail, which we don't have one on here right now. You go back in here with with some sort of pointy thing, flathead hammer, anything like that. Nail those tabs down, and that's going to eliminate any sort of rattling balusters moving forward. The other one comes down to the top rail. So as you can see here, we've got our bracket right here and on our top channel. A lot of people so we got to put in fasteners here on the edges yet, but a lot of the times they don't sit flush there, so they sit a little bit proud, is what we call it, not allowing for that top rail to roll on. So you're not having any luck getting the top rail on. The other one comes down to not getting the top rail on. We're not here yet, but it's the foot block. So we got a foot block right here. People aren't installing the foot block. Without having the foot block on there, this system will be a little bit too bouncy when you're pushing this top rail on because it is a compression fit.
All right, so the panel is set. What's next?
Yeah, next we are going to snap on our bottom channel here just to kind of clean up that look so we're not seeing any, again, exposed fasteners here. So what we're going to do, the best key here is that you want to do is you want to roll it in. So in order to roll it in, this is all compression fit. So as you can see here, we're kind of rolling it in, and then it snaps up. And you'll hear it snap as we go through here. There we go. And that's when you know it's on, when it snaps like that.
That's the winner right there. All right, now the cap.
Yep, so now we're going to do foot block, because in order to get the cap or that top rail on, we got to have the foot block. So next, what I always do is I counted my number of balusters, it's 15. So what we want to do is obviously we want to put this foot block, we want to have it centered so everything looks uniform on that build there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That is going to be the middle one. We're going to put that up under that. I always like to try to center it under that baluster, keep everything looking uniform. Keep in mind, this is going to be facing out, so the people or whoever's using that rail system, using that deck, they're not going to see this fastener in here. So I'll paint it the exact same on our fasteners, but it's just kind of another little trick for you guys too. So gives the front, the peeling part a nice clean look to it too. Okay.
All right, so not only you need to have the self-tapping screws flush, but you also need to stagger them, right?
Correct, yep, that's going to eliminate from the screws hitting together, allowing these screws to actually be flush with these extrusions there on the top rail.
All right, now that you watch this video, you're not going to make that mistake. I can see the finish line. What's next?
Yeah, so next is we are going to put on our top rail. So it's going to go on the exact same way we put this bottom rail on as well. So we're just going to roll it on there, and it's going to be a compression fit. See here. Just like that, then snap it on. And one thing I will say here to you, Greg, is one thing we are now including in all of our top rail options, we have these cut collars. So let's say you cut it a little bit too short, you don't want that gap in between your post and your top rail. We do have cut collars in all of our new top rails as well. So those do come with it as well.
Got it. It's actually one of my favorite features of the IRX is just this really smooth connection between the post and the cap.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah. All right.
Awesome. Yep, and then next we're just going to throw on our post caps, the fun part of the system here, to snap those on there. And then one thing I didn't mention as well is we do have a two-piece system for our skirts as well. So in composite systems, usually you have to put on your skirt first, and if you don't do that, you're just going to have to not have a skirt unless you want to take the whole system apart. So ours is all a two-piece system. So what you do is you just put them on each bottom, put them together, and then they just snap together.
All right. Good job, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, we're here. It's done. Looks great. Anything else that we should know?
Yeah, just a reminder that all of our aluminum rail systems are IRC and IBC co-compliant, which for both commercial and residential use. It's got a limited lifetime warranty, 25-year fade and stain. It's all aluminum as well, so it's non-combustible.
All right. I got to tell you, sitting here looking at it, when you talk about speed of install, precision, and clean looks, the IRX delivers. For more content like this, like and subscribe. IRX available nationwide through AdvantageLumber.com. See you next time.